确定性才是成年世界的第一课。
Next, Sophia and Riqing from class AS3 will review why embracing uncertainty is the first lesson of being mature. Let's welcome Sophia with a big round of applause.
掌声欢迎 Sophia。
Hello, and today our theme is embrace. When talking about embrace, most of you guys will instantly turn to comforting certainties, like the warmth of loved ones, the loyalty of pets, and the security of predictable events. And maybe you will turn to some good qualities like bravery and self-acceptance. But today I am here to present with you all something that I would personally be hesitating to embrace, the ambiguity. For some of you guys who might not be familiar with the term of ambiguity, on English dictionary, ambiguity can be defined as something having more than one possible meaning, thus causing confusion. In my life, for sure, I am a person who always craves certainty. I try to avoid ambiguity altogether. I like predictable outcomes, and I like the feeling of having everything under control. Ambiguity to me used to be a source of anxiety. Whenever I'm placed in such a situation, I feel tense and I feel panic. But does ambiguity really equal to negativity? If I stand here and I tell all of you that ambiguity is not something to be feared, instead it's something to be embraced, that will probably just be empty words. Because even for me, before I signed up for this particular event, I had moments of hesitation where I went through all the possible ways that I might go wrong. What if I forget my line out? And what if I make a fool of myself in front of this huge audience? There's 1,000 and hundreds of what ifs. But these are all moments of fear and ambiguity that did not stop me from speaking. These moments of ambiguities is something that we eventually need to cope with and live with in order to become adults. If comparing life to a system, uncertainties should not be seen as bugs in the system. Instead, it should be seen more as the key operating system. Like I was that day, embracing ambiguity and the other way of us to become our more mature self. And now I can present with all of you guys a story from my own personal experience where I had to face ambiguity head on. And it was actually a decisive moment as it caused a sudden twist in the way I faced ambiguity. It was during last summer vacation when one of my friends introduced me to a summer part-time as an assistant tutor at an institution that focuses on English. I was genuinely thrilled before I went because I was told that they pay well, and also it's kind of my first seemed-like working experience for me. I assumed that this job will be quite manageable and good, and I assumed that their tutors will give me all instructions on everything, and all I would have to do is to follow these instructions and, of course, perform my academic skills. But things turned out to be way more complicated than I expected. On my first day, I realized that there are so many variances that I did not know. And a lot of people are good at dedication and giving those instructions. All I was given on my first day is a list of tasks that I should be able to finish in a short afternoon. I had no idea where to start, and I have no idea how each task should specifically be done. I did not know when should I be scoring the exercises of the students, on what format should I be laying out the grading table, or even on what device should I be placing the records. There are no clear set of criteria for everything there. Instead, it was actually highly based on personal experience. In my first week, I found myself struggling so much over essay grading without clear rubric and interpreting clear instructions. And even I had to stay late to handle some registration chaos caused by sudden schedule changes. The breaking point came when the student's parent demanded that I justify grading variances. Some variances that I can't even explain to them in just one or two words. I felt desperate, and I wanted to give up so bad, but it was all too overwhelming for a high schooler like I, who have never dealt with fast-paced working atmosphere and high-level activities. But on the other hand, it's definitely inappropriate for me to give up on the first couple days of the trip. So instead of waiting for these perfect solutions to come to me and figuring out perfection or taking any actions, I started to learn by trials and errors. I was encouraged by my parents to ask them questions and not to be afraid of making mistakes. Because as beginners, as me, it's only normal for us to make mistakes. Like, who wasn't a beginner at first? So slowly I started to see progress by this style of working. I started planning down the responsibilities and finding the better way of dealing with them. By the end of the summer vacation, I have figured out ways that are both acceptable and also suits me the best. The thing is, I have never really figured out what perfection is that I. But that's not the point. The point is that I have learned through this experience. I have learned about resilience, about problem solving, and about creativity. I learned that sometimes it's okay not to have the answer to everything, and that's not such a big deal. As long as you're willing to give it a try and figure things out. As high schoolers, most of my audiences are, we will become legit adults in the not far away future. And we will definitely be running into ambiguity and things that are ambiguous constantly. Like deciding on your college major or choosing a career path to follow up. Or even simply just balancing life and studies. These are all so many unknowns waiting in front of us for us to challenge. So instead of getting bugged by unknowns and letting these unknowns stop us and become obstacles for us excelling, why don't we start seeing them as opportunities for us to discover, explore, and to make ourselves more robust? So next time when you're challenged with something ambiguous, don't panic. Keep in mind that it's okay to not know. As long as you're willing to try, you might just find that it leads to something that you'll enjoy and probably won't. Thank you for listening, and hope you all